What if the very thing you're resisting is the very thing meant to set you free? Change doesn't knock, it crashes in, uninvited, unannounced, and unapologetic. But what if that disruption is not a curse, but a calling? In today's story, we explore what happens when life throws us off course and we decide to lean into the wave instead of fighting it. Because sometimes the unknown is exactly where you find yourself. A year ago, if you had told Jason Miller he'd be teaching art classes to kids in a small mountain town in Colorado, he would have laughed in disbelief. Jason was a creative director in San Francisco, 38, career-focused, sharp suits, morning coffees brewed to precision. For over a decade, his life was defined by deadlines, strategy meetings, and late-night brainstorming sessions in glass-walled offices. But then, the wave hit. The tech company he worked for underwent a massive merger. In one cold Zoom call, Jason's position, his title, identity, rhythm, vanished. At first, he fought it. This can't be it. This isn't how I go out, he told himself, refreshing LinkedIn, clinging to what was, desperately applying to job after job that looked like the one he just lost. But something strange happened in that silence. In the absence of the noise, he began to hear something else, himself. He found an old sketchbook buried beneath a pile of unused gym gear, pages from years ago, when art was still joy, not a forgotten luxury. And so one morning, no plan, no blueprint, he packed up a few belongings, rented a cabin in Colorado, and told himself he'd just stay a few weeks to reset. Weeks turned into months. He started journaling each morning, long, unfiltered entries of confusion, fear, but also curiosity. He took long walks in nature, observed how the trees didn't resist the wind, they danced with it. He started volunteering at a local community center, teaching kids how to express emotion through color. And somehow, something began to heal. One day, after class, a young girl named Lucy looked at her messy drawing, then looked up at Jason and whispered, "I didn't know I could make something beautiful." Jason smiled. Neither did he. The change itself hadn't broken him. His resistance to it had. It was the clinging, the unwillingness to let go of what no longer fit. When he stopped fighting the current, he didn't drown. He floated. He learned to breathe again. And in that stillness, new possibilities emerged. He started seeing change differently, not as a threat, but as training. Every moment of uncertainty became a gym for the mind. Journaling became a mirror. Mindfulness, a muscle. Asking for help, a strength, not a weakness. He broke the overwhelming into micro goals. Today I'll finish one drawing. Tomorrow I'll call my sister. Next week I'll attend that art fair, even if I'm scared. Each small step became a bridge towards something better. And through it all, he noticed something else. He wasn't just adapting, he was evolving. The Jason who once feared change now danced with it. He read about people like Vera Wang, who entered fashion at 40, or Colonel Sanders, who founded KFC in his 60s. They didn't fall behind. They just found their time. Change, he realized, is not a detour. It's the road. It's always been the road. So he built his own toolkit for resilience, a playlist for anxious mornings, a journal titled Lessons from the Unknown, a jar of sticky notes with past wins, reminders of what he's overcome, and a commitment to try one new thing each month just to keep growing. And he told his students something that had become his own mantra. You don't have to know where you're going, just don't stop walking. Because in the grand scheme, life is not about finding stability. It's about becoming stable within the storm. And when the next wave comes, and it will, Jason knows now, he's no longer afraid of the tide because he is the ocean. So here's the question only you can answer. What is one small step you can take today to stop resisting and start flowing? Share your story in the comments. Maybe it's a job you lost, a city you left, a version of yourself you're grieving. Let this space be your lighthouse. And if today's story stirred something in you, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be standing in their own storm. Because the more we share, the more we realize we are never alone in the waves.